I always love looking at stats that some people might be like, wow, I didn't really think of that stat. Because everyone looks at the basic stats, passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, sacks, interceptions, whatever, right? People look at the basic stats, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, right? Obviously, those stats do matter too. But there's stats that sometimes go underlooked that paint a bigger picture in the grand scheme of things. And this is why this Bengals offense, I've said many times over this whole length of this channel, that yes, this Bengals offense is good. Not only are they good, when Joe Burrow has the ball, most likely he's going down the field and going to score a touchdown and either win the game or he's going to at least get some points if, field goal, again, hopefully touchdown, but at least a field goal. That. While I've said many times in this channel with the Ravens, Lamar Jackson is the complete opposite. You never know what's going to happen on the drive when Lamar Jackson has the ball. It could go 3 and out 7 times in a row. Or he could run for a touchdown. He could throw a crazy play and get a touchdown. You never know. The consistency is how you win games, right? It's not about what one big play you made in week 2 or week 5 of the season. It's how consistent are you, especially because this stats right here are talking about when losing in 2022. So again, just to reiterate the whole tweet, percent of drives that scored points when losing in the second half 2022. Cincinnati sits at 68%. They sit at the top of the list. Even KC, which, a lot of people are saying, well, as in arguably, everyone says that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, right? He has Travis Kelce. He has their number 1 receiver, Kadarius Toney. I have to keep making that joke. He has Marquez, Valdez. He has an offense that's pretty dang good, right? And he's the best quarterback in the league. He sits at 59%. So, when losing, Joe Burrow is 9% better than Patrick Mahomes in the second half. Now, again, I know Chiefs fans will argue, well, it's because you guys have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You guys have the best tight end in the league. Shut up. I'm sorry, but you guys have the best tight end. You have Travis Kelce. Okay? And you guys have pretty decent receivers. Yes, the Bengals have the best, well, arguably, according to Pro Football Focus, I'll say, the second best receiver in the NFL and the 15th best receiver in the NFL. So, calm down a little bit. But again, if you go down, this is why I love these kind of stats, right? Because they paint a picture. 68%, right? Go down the list here. Baltimore's at 33%. So in the second half of games, and I know Lamar Jackson did not play the whole season last year, okay? But 33% of drives in the second half when they're losing, the Ravens are scoring points on those drives. The Bengals are scoring at 68 percentile. That is here to here. That is your cliff. You could argue, yes, obviously KC, Cincinnati here is actually pretty dang close, right? But then look at Buffalo, 53%. So, and again, 68%, even 53%, that's still a cliff. That's still a cliff right there. 53%, the third best quarterback in the NFL, and for some reason, I think it was Pro Football Focus, who said that Buffalo, Josh Allen was the second best over Burrow. That was pretty funny. 53%. So it's just, this is why, again, I love these stats, because it paints the picture to show how effective this offense was last year, and it's going to be the same effectiveness in this year. Yes, Hayden Hurst is gone, but Irv Smith replaced him. Yes, you lost Samaje Perine, you got Chase Brown. You also got Charlie Jones. You got Andre. You got more weapons. You got a better offensive line, right? So those all these things that take in consideration why I'm so honestly enthusiastic about this year's offense is because of all these things. And again, you just go down, who were the most productive offense in the NFL last year? The Chiefs, the Bengals, the Miami Dolphins, 36%. Obviously, when Tua was healthy, but that's a I'm going to throw that number out the window because Tua was not healthy for half the season. Pittsburgh, 29%. San Francisco, 29%. Philadelphia, the team that was almost in the Super Bowl, 24%. And again, like I said before, there are situations where, for example, Jalen Hurts was hurt for a little bit of the season. So does that mess the numbers up? A tad bit it does. But it's not taking the number like Tua and the Dolphins. I'm throwing out the window because Tua was out like half the season. While at least with Lamar Jackson, he was there for, what were they, 8-3? So he was there like 11 weeks. 11 out of 18. Again, it's not changing numbers too much. But the Chiefs and Buffalo, Josh played every single game. Patrick played every single game. There's no excuses there. Green Bay, Rodgers played every single game. 44%. This is why I've said many times, and I'll say it again, I believe Joe is the best quarterback in football. And I get it, Mahomes won 2 championships, whatever. And I'm not going to say I'm saying my opinion is I think Joe is the best. But I understand Patrick is the best, if that makes sense. I understand because Joe hasn't won the 2 Super Bowls yet. Joe hasn't won the MVP awards yet. And I get that, right? Even though I always think MVP award is just a popularity contest at this point. But I understand that, right? And there's no disrespect to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. Unanimous, I would say, right? But at the end of the day, this is why I think a lot of people don't look at these games or don't realize how amazing this Bengals offense under Joe Burrow actually is. And if we go back to last year's games, right? And we go down to, let's look at the Bucs game. This is a really great game to show, right? Halftime, the score is 17-3. The Bucs are blowing out the Bengals. Second half, 6 points allowed by the Bengals. They only allowed 6 points. Joe Burrow scored a total of 31 points. Won the game. Blew out the Bucs in the second half. And those are, again, the most crucial times. Second half teams, right? They say it all the time. People say it all the time. Second half teams. Second half teams. It's important because second half teams, you win the game in the second half, right? You're never gonna win a game in the first half. I hate to tell you that, but that's just facts, right? You're never gonna win a game in the first half. You can have the best first half of all time and be like, listen, I am the best first half team to ever play the game. You lose the game in the second half then, right? That's just a fact. And even this game, the Bengals actually, first half, they were actually pretty dang amazing. Second half, they won. And I'm trying to pick up another game here where they were, I don't think there's not too many games last year where they were down by that much at halftime. And they had to play really kind of catch-up football. I think the Saints game was closer, right? Yeah, again, still 18 points in the second half. 16 points in the second half. That's what I'm trying. Let me correct myself. But again, it's just stats you don't look at, and you're like, oh well. At the end of the day, Bengals were this good last year, or this good last year. They're on the cliff, and everyone else is below. This is not even close. But again, just one man's opinion. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.